Sorry, guys. It's crazy. So, a lot has been going on around like submarines. Like, I feel like we've heard a lot about it. We had a collision recently, and there's like a deal on the table with Australia and Britain. Well, one Navy engineer, nuclear engineer, his name is Jonathan Tobe. He was arrested on Saturday because he was selling U.S. state secrets basically to the FBI, but he was trying to sell them to a foreign entity. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
I have.
No.
Fucking
my
wild,
gosh.
guys.
So it was him and his wife. So a couple of details about him. He worked as a civilian for the military for a while, but from like 2012 to 2014, he worked on naval reactors. He worked on the naval nuclear propulsion, and there's two significant differences when it comes to subs. So you have your diesel submarines, which are louder and they're powered obviously by diesel. Then you have your nuclear propulsion submarines that are quiet and often go undetected on any radar. They can stay submerged for months, whereas diesel ones can have to resurface every couple hours. So if you're on a stealth mission, that's probably, or patrolling our waters, I guess you could say, it's probably not the best one to use diesel. Well, this guy worked on a bunch of those projects. And what's really crazy is that him and his wife sent packages to foreign nations. And they said, basically the note said something like, please forward this to your military intelligence. We have basically secrets to sell. This is not a hoax. Which is crazy. Like, it's it might as well just paint a sign on the roof of your house that says something like, you know, if I want to commit treason, arrest me now. So that packet, one of those packages that was sent to this country, and mind you, they sent this to over 63 countries. One of those packages was received in April 2020. December 2020 is when the FBI received the package from the foreign country. We don't know why it took from April to December to get it to the US. But they started doing their investigation. So they contacted them through this encrypted messaging that they had provided to this foreign country. And they started a conversation. So the FBI sent them I think it was like 10,000 in cryptocurrency as a show of good faith. And they have these people on recording doing drops. Like the guy put like an SD card in a half-eaten peanut butter sandwich and threw it in a trash can. That was supposed to be a drop. The wife was working as a lookout. It was just like a really bad spy movie over these couple of months. So yeah, I mean, this guy, he worked on the Bettis Atomic Power Lab. He had access to various amounts of information. Who knows what he knows or what drove him to do this, but the Justice Department has also released an uncovering of the complaint. So a complaint is really just like what they're being charged with, but of course, everybody's innocent until proven guilty, but the FBI has the receipts, basically.
I wonder if they'll make a B movie out of it.
I could see what's his name, Danny McBride playing the husband.
I mean, there's been a lot of heavy cases that have happened. Shoot, who was it? It was actually a big senator, Feinstein. I think it was Senator Feinstein, where her chauffeur was found out to be a Chinese spy. And then
what?
Rep Swalwell, he dated a Chinese spy for a while.
Oh my gosh.
And
well, there's a reason why
he's on the Intel committee.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's a reason why you're bringing this up. So Australia, they had gotten with France and they said, hey, France, I want some subs. And so we can patrol the southern China Sea. And they took way too Spy Kids 4. Hey, Pixie. But yeah, they took way too long. They were overcharging. They were out of budget. Their project was delayed by a lot. And Australia was like, okay, then just give me some nuclear propulsion subs. And France is like, nah, bro, we can't do that because the U.S. and Britain has kept a close relationship. Like they don't share that with anybody else in the world since 1958. So Australia came to us and was like, hey, like, I need your help, which of course we were like, hell yeah. Like, we have another ally in the Pacific. We get to, have these undetectable subs trolling around the South China Sea. And China's like, wait a minute, this is our jurisdiction. These are our waters. You can't be in these waters. So that is kind of where I kind of left off on the whole submarine talk. But I never thought I would be so interested and invested in submarines in 2021, but it's crazy.
I hear a lot about submarines these days.
Yeah. Well, the nuclear propulsion ones are especially interesting because they're powered by uranium. So, and the uranium can be used to make, nuclear bombs. And that's incredibly important information to keep, of course, secret. So for a man like Jonathan and Diane Tobe, just to be, somebody who is supposed to be trusted with their secrets to go around and send 63 countries, say, hey, I'll sell you these in exchange for cryptocurrency. Like, what do they know? Like, what else does he know? And why was it so sloppy? Like, that's another thing. Like, that's just insulting. Like, you should know. With your rank,
like,
he's a
trying
lieutenant.
their best. Like hell, so when they went to the plot that was to kidnap the governor of Wisconsin, Whitmore, like the FBI infiltrated in like half of the agent or half the people there were FBI agents. So it's like if you're planning this stuff in the United States, the FBI is going to find out and they're going to get in on it. So, what was your plan? Like, what was your hope?
I don't know.
Pretty much.
Follow through.
Yeah. I didn't get too many details about this, but this also comes on the heels of a sub collision that happened. Apparently, they had struck like a underwater mountain because they were going too fast near Guam, and all 137 people were injured and one died, like from hitting this underwater thing. I'm not sure if it was a diesel one or a nuclear one. I guess it could be pretty bad if it was a nuclear one. But...
Well, if you're talking about the one I heard about, it was a nuclear sub, and as of last week, the official report was still an unknown object. So they had speculations of what it would be, but they could not confirm or deny what it was. Which could also be an underwater mine because China has been planting a lot of underwater mines around the South China Sea.
Yeah.
Or they're covering up Godzilla, like.
Well, that would be closer to Japan instead of Guam.
Yeah.
Racist.
He's a sea monster.
He's a sea monster. He only goes to Japan and San Francisco. We know this.
Yeah.
From the movies.
He's in the Pacific.
The historical texts.
But that's the thing, like, you can't tell me that it's an unknown thing when they have all of their radars and sonars and all the technology that they do that they can't even.
Well,
it was undetected.
So that's what the suspicion is.
Tinfoil hat time. Hang on.
Godzilla's coming for us, y'all.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I don't have mine. Sorry, guys.
Do we have an emoji slot?
Yeah,
we might.
We probably do.
We should upload the tinfoil hat emoji.
Yeah, I'll upload it.
But
I'll download it.
No, there's a lot of tensions, a lot of drama, and I know the deal with Australia really pissed off China. We already pissed them off a lot over the last couple of years. And I don't know, if you look around the world right now, things are starting to get desperate for everybody. And when things get desperate, shit gets scary.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, like NJ and I were talking about this. What if we go to war with China? Like, would we win?
So the problem with war, well, it depends on your definition of win, right? So first off, it would be the definition of fuck around and find out, because we'll actually then find out what the U.S. government really has. Because I mean, with
Yeah.
what we know about, right? Let's say the Star Wars project, right?
Mhm.
I don't know how familiar you are with the Star Wars project, but it was under Reagan.
Mhm.
Are we building a Death
And
Star?
say that again.
Are we building a Death Star?
In a way. So the whole point was to build lasers that can hyper focus on like a missile's trajectory, or like motherboard that controls the whole unit. So they can hyper focus a laser onto that one thing, and thus the rocket would fall out of the sky, depending on the rocket. There's certain things like that that the Star Wars project worked on.
Hmm.
And whatever came out of it, right? Like, we don't know what the final result of something like that was.
That will probably forever remain classified unless if the United States openly says like, "Hey, we used to have this technology, not anymore, declassified." But they're never going to do that.
What we do know is that the Iron Dome that protects Israel was also developed off the same technology. So, like, at least gives us an idea of if it works or not, right? Because the Iron Dome has worked very well in defending from rocket attacks. So,
Mhm.